I love the cooler weather that's about to come to Orlando and all the fall events that come alongside it. Welcome to the Orlando Real Estate Lifestyle, where we explore the intersection of Orlando real estate and your best life. I'm Phil Kruse, here to help you make the most out of your journey right here in the city beautiful. You know I love Orlando. I think it's the best city in the country, and one of the main reasons is the weather. That's why so many people are flocking here from around the country and have been for my entire generation, but especially recently. This fall and including the spring as well, we have the best weather. We're talking high 70s, low 80s, maybe mid 80s, no or less humidity. It is amazing because we can still do all the outdoor activities. We don't have any snow. It never gets too cold to restrict us from going to the beach most of the time. It is awesome. I love it. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about what you can expect to do, the fall events coming to Orlando, what you can expect in Orlando for this fall, including, of course, we're going to talk all about the Halloween events. That's one of the most fun and was always my favorite holiday here, especially when I was in my 20s and my late teens and even 30s. I love Halloween parties and dressing up. So we're going to talk all about the different Halloween events going all around in Orlando. We're going to talk about our fall sports schedule. Fall is probably the busiest time for sports in the country, and Orlando is no different. And we have a lot of offerings there for you to bring your families to. And finally, how do you how do you manage the weather changes that we have coming up, including the end of hurricane season and other fall events that aren't associated with Halloween? So it's going to be a solid episode that you can take a lot of value in and start planning out your fall schedule for your family, or to see the value in Orlando if you're thinking about making a move here. Speaking of which, before we get started, of course, I am a real estate agent, and one of my main lead sources are listeners like you. So if it's your time to make a major real estate decision, buying or selling a house, I'm here for you. Phil Kruse, that's Kruse with a K, Kruse. Of course, refer me to any of your friends and family in the area. Let them know that a portion of all my real estate commissions goes to a charity. And it's not just any charity, it's the New Image Youth Center that I volunteer at every Wednesday as a mentor. I taught improv classes there during the summer. Of course, if you as a buyer or seller have a charity that you're passionate about, I will divert a portion of my commissions to the charity of your choosing. I love doing this, and I love supporting Orlando's local philanthropic ventures and supporting our community. I am here to help you and to help our community. You can find me on all social channels at Phil Kruse. That's Kruse with a K, Kruse. You can also just throw me in Google, Phil Kruse, Kruse, put Orlando, put real estate. I'm going to hit. I got a website that's really nice with a blog, all kinds of good stuff, information about Orlando. So I'd be happy to help you. And subscribe to my podcast. I release new episodes every Monday. Some are real estate related, some are Orlando specific or lifestyle specific. It's a nice, diverse one. Lets you know what's going on and keeps you up to date about Orlando and about real estate changes. I interview business leaders in the area, restaurateurs like Bruno Zucchini from Pizza Bruno, like Kelly Sen, the owner of Orlando Power Yoga. I have all these episodes on there. Thomas Ward, Pig Floyd's, the list goes on. Entrepreneurs, you name it. So this is my 46th episode. I hope you've been enjoying it. Now, moving on. My costume contest last year at my Halloween party was awesome. We had a guy who dressed up as the most interesting man in the world from the Dos Equis commercial, and his wife was dressed up as a bottle of Dos Equis beer. Somehow they didn't win because somebody came dressed as Ace Ventura, and his wife was, the police chief, Finkel and Einhorn. She's really pretty, and she knocked it out of the park. And his costume was epic, exactly like Ace Ventura, and he has the world's best hair for that Ace Ventura costume. She styled it perfectly, like from the movies. And they were handing out Ace Ventura Pet Detective business cards. They were hands down the best. Halloween, like I said, is one of my favorite holidays, if not my favorite. But there's more to do in Orlando, especially than just Halloween parties, which I'm sure you're going to have yours and you're going to have those for your kids. But let's get into the different events in and around Orlando for Halloween. And we got to start right at the top with our economic driver of theme parks. Of course, you have the benign one, the one that's easy for kids. The Mickey's not so scary. You take your kids there. It's obviously not scary. There's trick-or-treating zones. For me, that's pretty boring, but I know a lot of people love to dress up their kids, go there and ride the rides, dress like a pirate and go on Pirates of the Caribbean. Mickey's Not So Scary is there for you. The two scary ones that we have here are, of course, the original, the OG, Universal Halloween Horror Nights. It's at both parks. It's completely insane. I'm sure you know about it. Make sure you get a fast pass because you're going to have to wait in line for the rides and for the haunted houses for a long, long time. And then, of course, there's SeaWorld's Hollow Scream. Hollow Scream started at Busch Gardens back in the day over in the Tampa area, and they've expanded. Now they've partnered with SeaWorld and have for the last few years. So you have SeaWorld, Hollow Scream. And oh, by the way, Hollow Scream was voted #1 in 2023 as the nation's best Halloween attraction. So it's a really, really good. Check them both out. I would lean towards Hollow Scream. They have a fast pass version as well. It's something like Slash the Line or something clever like that. Go check those out. And of course, you can ride the rides. I love SeaWorld. It's so good. If SeaWorld's not on your radar, it needs to be. It's closer, it's cheaper, easier parking. The roller coasters there are the best. I love the Mako. It's my favorite roller coaster. So good. Other than the theme parks, you got Lou Gardens. Okay, Lou Gardens changed management. They hired a different manager or curator. I don't know what you want to call her a couple of years ago, and she has just been knocking out of the park with the different holiday events and different themed events they do during the year with like fairies and dragons. They do an awesome Christmas situation, and Halloween is no different. I went last year with my family, my little kids. It was one of the best things that we did. They have zones, but they're never too scary. And you just meander through the park and look at the beautiful flowers and trees and whatnot. And then you get to a station. It might be the Dia de Muertos. I think I'm saying that right. Day of the Dead. You had this huge pumpkin kind of tent type overhang thing that you walk through with these thousands of pumpkins. Then you had scarier areas and all kinds of things for kids to do. And then there was trick or treat stations every now and again. Awesome. They had little mazes, photo ops. You go there dressed up. You got to dress up. If you're going to Halloween stuff and if you don't dress up, come on. If you come to my Christmas party and you're not dressed up, you're not coming in the door. And if you're a guy not dressed up, I'm making you wear a dress. Anyway, put Lou Gardens on your radar. Buy tickets online early because they do like timed entry. So you want to make sure you pick a time that's convenient for your family. They'll have off-site parking as well. Put Lou Gardens on your map, on your radar for year-round activities, but especially in and around the holidays. In Altamont Springs, they have a petrified forest. Looks really, really cool. I've never been to this, but they've been doing it for a few years. Similar thing. This is definitely skewed to a haunted house, more scarier thing. I wouldn't bring the kids. 3 different trails, like kind of mazes that you walk through, and there's just scare zones. It looks awesome. If you want to do something during the day and have a little bit more kid-friendly, you got Gators, Ghosts, and Goblins at Gatorland. All right, you're going to have a swamp ape, Sasquatch-themed area talking about the history of that. Lots of costumes and stuff, and of course, there'll be all kinds of candy and stuff over there at Gatorland. Of course, the alligators. That's always great to see, especially if you walk through that boardwalk that goes across the huge lake. Is thousands of gators, I'm pretty sure, and it's just kind of creepy in of itself, let alone Halloween. The last topic I'm going to touch on for Halloween is the Enzian Theater. If you don't know about the Enzian Theater, it is a single screen theater over there in Maitland. I bring it up probably once a month on my weekend posts. Every Friday, I do a post on social media that tells you my top 5 things going on in Orlando. I also blast it out in an email. The Enzian is always on there because they always have a really cool movie coming on, one that at least attracts my attention. You sit down, table service. You got there's the Eden bar out front. And when you're there, you have a server serving you a great menu, good food, and always unique films that you're not going to see anywhere else. Generally not films that are out in the regular movie theaters. And they're doing the 13 films of Halloween, right? The highlights that I saw on there, and there's a bunch of movies, some that I've never heard of, some are cult classics. The 3 highlights I saw were the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's always a good one. Some of these are funny too. They're not even that scary. Of course, you have Interview with the Vampire. That's a true classic. And you have Bones. If you haven't heard of Bones, look it up. It stars Snoop Dogg. All right. So that's just 3 of the 13 movies going on at the Enzian. And the Enzian is great regardless of whether it's Halloween or not. Make sure you dress up and go see those movies. Now, fall in the United States in general is awesome for sports. You have obviously the NFL. I mean, the NFL is king. College football is right behind it. You got baseball and the baseball playoffs going on. But I want to focus on the NFL first. NFL games are so much fun to take your kids to. Now they're really expensive. You can go just to tailgate or go to all the different parties and watch parties around town. And we're so lucky that we're, I think, one of two states, maybe we're the only state, maybe I think one of two, maybe Texas, maybe California, that has three NFL teams. You got the Miami Dolphins, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And guess where Orlando sits? Right smack in the middle. I'm a huge Dolphins fan. I can jump on the Bright Line train right now. Well, for the next home game at the Orlando airport, hop on the train. I'll be at the Ultimate or not the Ultimate Mall. I'll be at the mall, the Ventura Mall down there in Fort Lauderdale in about 3 hours. I can tailgate on the train. They have a free shuttle that takes you from the mall to the game, watch the game, take the free shuttle back, and take the train back home. In and out in one day. It's, the train can be fairly expensive, but it beats paying for a hotel room, in my opinion. And you're not driving and dealing with drunk driving or dealing with just the lack of safety associated with driving in general. So we have that if you're a Dolphins fan. Obviously, Tampa's very close, hour and a half, 2 hour drive. Sometime between now and 10 years, there'll be a train connecting us to Tampa. And then Jacksonville's another easy drive too. Obviously, Jacksonville has less of a fan base. That might be the path of least resistance and cheaper tickets if you wanted to go take you and the family to one of our amazing NFL teams. And of course, as a Dolphins fan, I'm feeling sad that Tua, our quarterback, is not looking so hot, but Tampa's looking great. So if you're a Tampa fan, good for you. Of course, we're littered with major college universities. We got the biggest university in the country, depending on the year, right here in Orlando, UCF. As of this recording, UCF started 3-0 with an amazing comeback win and our first conference win this season, this past weekend. So we're looking pretty good. Believe it or not, we look like the best team in the state, maybe behind University of Miami. So we got the University of Miami Hurricanes, the Florida, University of Florida. You got the USF Bulls over there, but who cares about the Bulls, right? Go Knights. And you got FAU, and there's a number. Oh, of course, obviously FSU, the Seminoles, unfortunately not doing so hot this season. But on an average fall season, you have all these great college football teams. And even if you're not a big fan, you can go to UCF. You can go to some of these other places like UF that's relatively close by, and do tailgating or just buy tickets and take your kids to a local game. It's a lot of fun and it's a great experience. They do really good stuff at the UCF tailgates for kids with nitro running around, kids activities, live music most of the time. Of course, we have Orlando City going on. We're not having the best season right now, but we're still in it. That's our men's soccer team, obviously. And the highlight, though, it's got to be the Orlando Pride. Our women's soccer team is crushing it this season. We're right in the middle of the season. The fall is going to come to a crescendo with them. Let's see if they can win it. We're first in the Eastern Conference. We're looking super strong. So go out there and support our Orlando Pride and the Magic, the Orlando Magic basketball season. The NBA tips off this October. Orlando's first, the Magic's first regular season game is the October 23rd, and then the season goes on from there. Look, we finished either fourth or fifth in the Eastern Conference last year. We got some amazing young stars like Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner. We are a solid team, well coached. Hopefully we can improve and make a deep run this year. So enjoy the fall sports here in Orlando. Pivoting to Orlando's weather scene in the fall and what we can do from an outdoor activity perspective. We are so blessed and so lucky to live in Central Florida where it gets quote unquote cold and you're maybe wearing a jacket in the evening. Look, in most days during the fall season, you can still go to the beach. You can still get on the lake and go wakeboarding and pull your kids in the tube. Or you can still get in the pool. It is so awesome. But then we have those days without the humidity, but you're still with the bright sunshine. It is just such a great time to live in Central Florida. Of course, hurricane season ends. The rainy season ends. We've had such an amazingly crazy rainy season here this summer. My lake is up many, many feet. I haven't seen it this high since Hurricane Ian came through a couple of years ago. So I'm glad that we're going to put this rainy season behind us. We're going to have more opportunities to enjoy the outdoors with lack of rain. We don't have to worry about hurricanes anymore, probably at the end of October, which is the end of hurricane season. Of course, it's camping season. We have so much camping here in Orlando. We're surrounded by state parks locally. You got the whole Seminole County, the Seminole State Forest up there in the Seminole County. You go farther north into Ocala. You got the Ocala National Forest. You have other easier parks to access like Moss Park and a whole bunch of other camping sites that are right here in Central Florida. Some are only a half-hour drive. Others are 2 hours or so. Awesome to enjoy the weather, build a fire, enjoy the cool weather. You can sleep in your tent and not be too hot. And go check out the beaches. There's camping on the beaches. Go check out our springs. It is just so cool. Eventually, you're going to have the manatees coming in. When it gets cooler, the manatees migrate to places like Blue Springs and Crystal River, and they just sit there. And you can go see the manatees in their natural habitat and see this natural phenomenon where you have hundreds of manatees clustered together in a crystal clear water, like in Blue Springs, talking like 45 minutes north of Orlando. Of course, we have other fall events, not just Halloween themed. Southern Hill Farms is having their fall festival. If you don't know about Southern Hill Farms, they're located in Claremont. They're known for their blueberry picking. That's how they got their name. But now they're a full-blown event place. Okay. So you go there and they have a whole area with like carnival rides, live music, great food, beer. It's awesome. Their blueberry muffins are great. So even on a normal weekend, Southern Hill Farms is a great place to go. And their fall festival has all those things. They also have all kinds of other you pick vegetable things. You can pick sunflowers and strawberries. And they're going to add for the fall festival, and it's going on for a number of weeks. They're going to have a corn maze. They're going to have tractor rides. They're going to have a pumpkin patch barn with all kinds of crazy giant pumpkins and weird looking pumpkins and other kind of fall-ish, like the special corn and corn stalks that you can buy and take home to decorate your house. They have a place where you can buy the pumpkins and set them down and leave them so you can get that out of the way and play with your kids and then get them out, pick up the pumpkins on the way out. And they even have a bunch of TVs. So if you're like me and you get dragged there by your wife and go with the kids and you're missing your football games, they're going to be on with all their TVs. You can grab a beer and pretend like you're watching the kids and really be watching football. Obviously, we have Thanksgiving. I don't need to say a lot about Thanksgiving. It's probably my favorite holiday right next to Halloween. And we all have our family plans. But I want to highlight the fact that it's the busiest travel time of the year and make you remember or be aware of the fact that Orlando is the #1 most visited city in the United States, if you include domestic travel. And on holidays such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, and 4th of July, and Memorial Day and such, when a lot of the travel is domestic, we have the busiest airport in Florida, right? We're busier than Miami. So you can expect crazy travel, and you can expect just I want to put it in perspective why Orlando is, to me, the best city in the country. It's not just because of the great weather and all the stuff we have going on. It's our real estate market. It's our tourism. We are so insulated from a downturn or a downtick in the economy. And our real estate market is only going to continue to boom with the fact that our airport is getting bigger. We have Terminal C. The high-speed rail is only expanding. Terminal C was added for international travel, but they've added domestic there too. It's just great. And Orlando's airport is such a huge reason why we are such a great city that can sustain the business and residential and population growth that we're seeing. So are you convinced that Orlando is such an amazing city to live in the fall? I hope you've enjoyed understanding and learning all the activities and events that are coming this fall for Halloween specifically, and an understanding of the camping and the other fall events that are coming on. And just enjoy this great weather. Don't forget about my real estate services. I'm a listing specialist. I can help your home sell fast and at the highest price using something I call the auction effect. I can tell you more about that. Remember, a portion of all my real estate commissions go to charity, either the charity of your choosing or the charity I choose to devote my time and money to, called the New Image Youth Center, serving Orlando's underprivileged youth in Paramore. If you like this information, go check out my other episodes. I have over 40 more on Spotify. I'm on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. While you're there, hit the bell on YouTube. If you're watching it, of course, do it now. And subscribe. Give me a 5-star review. It helps me out. Send the link to to one of your friends. Help me grow. And check out my social media. You can just Google me, Phil Kruse, Kruse. Put Orlando, put real estate at the end. You're going to find me. Or search for me on Instagram. Same thing. Facebook. You'll find me, Phil Kruse. That's Kruse with a K. And always know that your best life in Orlando is within reach. Keep embracing every moment. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.